that I say will be recorded, and everything on the screen will be recorded. It's called a screencast. So I'm just going to go ahead and lower that down. And now everything that we do is going to go ahead and be recorded. So one of the number one things that we should have in our class is either a blog or an announcement page on our website. An announcements page is something that looks like this that will direct our students to any of the work that you want them to do that day. The work can be linked directly to your website, or it can actually direct them directly to your Google Drive. I prefer the work on the website so they can view it and make sure that's the one they want, and then they can connect to your Google Drive. Or we can go ahead and use a blogger. Has anybody ever used a blogger before? It's Google's blog. If you haven't done so, I really highly recommend you create one, and I'll give you some time to create one right now. All you would do is click on More. This is your little apps button. That should be available on all of your Google sign-in things. I highly recommend that you use Chrome, not Explorer. Google and Explorer do not play well together, so you always want to use Chrome when working with Google products. And then Blogger is right there. So if everybody would actually click on that blogger, and if you don't already have one, create a blog. I titled mine Mr. Marquez's Class Blog, but if you want to title it My AB Blog, if you have 3 different subjects, you can make 3 different blogs. But this is where you're going to want your students to go to every day as their opener. Like walk in, take out your computer, or walk in, take out your device, and go to my blog. And it'll have a list of things to do that day. So go ahead and create a blogger, and I'll walk around and see if anybody needs any help. Yes, I wouldn't connect it to my Google Plus profile, because that means everything you post in your Google Plus, it'll appear on your blog. As a class, I would just do it as a blogger profile, just off on its own, not connected to Google Plus. Yeah. Oh, yes. So you would always, for your class, I would do just a blogger profile, not the Google Plus profile. Yeah, just so you can change it whenever you want. See, how many English teachers do we have in here? Any English teachers? Okay, a couple. What about history? No history. K through 6 teachers. K through 6. Okay, that's all subjects. Good. What about science? Woohoo, science. All right, good. Science. What else did I? Math. Math, good. Blogs are good for math as well. Okay. Did I not call anybody? Music. Any music teachers in here? All right, there we go. Music. You could link to some good stuff with music on there as well. Yes. Well, you should be fine. If you just hit new blog, you should be able to create your blog right there. So once you get to this page, off to the left, there's the button that says new blog. That's where you would create your new class blog. So you would click on it, and you would title it whatever you want for that class. And then you would put down your address that you want. So it could be Mr. Marquez's blogspot.com. It could be marquezscience.blog. But it's all going to end as .blogspot.com. Something easy that you know your students will know. And I always just choose the simple template. I think simple is better. But if you want to get crazy, you can choose any of these other ones. But simple works for me. And then when you're done with that, you just hit create blog, and you will have a brand new blog all ready for you. Oh, you were right there, yeah. So new blog right there, and then whatever the title of it that you want.
Oh, and then I put.
Yes, when you do that, don't put any dots or don't put any spaces or apostrophe. Just straight one thing all the way across. That's the easiest thing for the kids to retype. Uh-oh. I'll try it now. So I'm just going to make a test blog. So just quick test. And I'll just have it as mtest. And if it's not available, they'll tell you. Yeah, if it comes up not available, you will have to pick something else. It's basically first come, first serve. So if somebody already created that, first come, first serve. No, not when the kids type it in. So you might need to try it a couple times to see if your blog's available. So I'm making a test blog so you can see what it looks like. My address is testtest70.blogspot.com. That comes into play in our very next step. So make sure you remember what your blogspot address is, and then we're going to hit create blog. Yeah, sometimes it takes longer than others. Depends on a lot of different factors. There we go. So notice I now have 2 different blogs available for me to post on. So make sure you're posting to the correct blog if you have a couple different classes. And when you want to post a new blog post, don't click on new blog because that'll create a whole new blog for you. You want to click on the little pencil to write your post. So if you've gotten to this point, go ahead and click on the pencil and create your first blog post. It'll come up as like a Word document. It'll look just like a Microsoft Doc template when it comes up. That is interesting. Let's go why. What? That one's not available? 70. Okay. So how many Y's is that? Y. 6. 6 Y's and a 70. Well, and we'll just delete this one when we're done, so we don't have to remember what it is. I just want to see why it's not. Okay, so you just need to verify your Google account. So just put in your phone number, and then they'll send you a verification number, and then you just type that in, you'll be all set. And then we'll create an actual blog. Okay, let's try Y 70. You're right. Let's hit cancel and try it again. Okay, we'll try it again this time. And so I'll just title this My First Blog. And I'll just put hello. Whoops. And I can publish it. Or you can create links just like you could on your web page, or you can add videos, you can add pictures, you can add a YouTube video, a YouTube link. A lot of places don't have YouTube enabled in their schools, so but you can always do an open write, like a starter of the day using the blog. One of the biggest things with this is you want the kids to come in and know exactly what to do. One of the greatest things for me was the past 2 years I've been teaching a computer class, and I always have everything already set for them. And so when they walk in, they sit down, do their work. I don't do anything. I mean, I do stuff, right? I walk around and I help them, but they walk in, they know the blog of the day. After the blog, they know their assignment. They click on the assignment. It takes them to the assignment. They do the assignment. They share it with me. It goes into my folder. I look at the folder. I grade their folder. I send it back, give them their grade. They go on to the – it's easy. So for me, it's all paperless because I start off with a place that they know where to go. That's what I use the blog for, as a place the students will know where to go. And the way I do it is by having the students, and I don't want to add a comment. You can just hit cancel for that part. I have the students add my blog to their reading list. And this is what the reading list is. Under my blogs, I would have them create a blog just like we did. If your students in Clovis Unified, they all have a Gmail account, so they all have a Blogger account. So they can all create their own blog. And all you would have to do under their blogs, this is the reading list. They would hit add. They would type in your URL. So mine was test70.blogspot.com. And so they would type that in, and then they'd hit add, and then they'd hit follow. And then it would be right there. And it would show up right there. They can either read my blog from my blog site, or they can read it right off their reading list. And if the students are using it as a response system, like maybe you ask the question to the kids and you want them to respond to it, like a quick write at the very beginning of class, or maybe you have a question about something you did the day before, maybe it was a lab you did before, or activity you did before, you want to see what they remember about it, they would respond through their blog, and you would be able to see it by adding them to your reading list. And it's easy for them because you would have them create a blog with just their email. And their emails would be first initial, last name, last 3 digits, .blogspot.com. And you can just set them all in. Does it take a little while to set the reading list up? Yeah, it takes about a half an hour to get all those in. But after that, all you have to do is scroll down. Alex did his, or let me hit on all blogs. Ethan did his, Ryan did his, Long did his, Howard did his, and so it's all done. And then you can actually go to their blog site and review all their past blogs or past assignments that they've done throughout the year for all of April, for all of May, for all of March. Yeah, it's not done. And I mean, oh, I did that blog. No, you didn't. Look, let's go to it. And I have them number their blogs just so I can tell that they did them right. It takes a while. If you look at the very beginning blogs from when we started, like this guy didn't add a title to it. Actually, he did a pretty good job by numbering them all. But it takes some training. But if we start young with this and go all the way up, the kids will know by the time they're in 7th and 8th grade, they'll know exactly how to do all this stuff. So that's what I use Blogger as. I use it as my response system to a starter or a prompt that I want them to answer. What if you want to hand out an assignment in your class? Okay, what if you want to hand out an assignment in your class? Well, this is what you need to do. Okay, so I want you all to emulate yourselves as being the students, and then I will be the teacher. So what I want you to do is in your Google Drive folder, I want you to create a brand new folder. So under Create, I want you to create a brand new folder. And you're going to name the folder, let's just call this Paper Class, okay? With no whatever. And actually, let's title yours specifically. So if your name is Joe, you would type in Joe Paper Class. If your name is Molly, Molly Paper Class. And there we go. Now, I want you, on that folder, I want you to right-click. And I want you to go down to Share and click on Share. So once again, what I did is I created, where did it go? My last box. I created a folder with my first name. Well, I didn't do it because this is the teacher one. With your first name and Paper Class, you right-click on it, and you're going to click on Share. You are going to invite me into your folder. And it'll just be that folder I can get into. I can't get into anything else. Okay, so you're going to type in my full email. And this is what you're going to have your kids do. And this is where they get confused because they have to use the long one. So you're going to type in Joe Marquez at clovisusd.k12.ca.us. And make sure, because I'm the teacher, you wouldn't do this with your fellow students, but because I'm the teacher, you're going to change it to Can Edit. It should be defaulted there, but make sure it's on Can Edit. All right, so we should be in google.com under our account. Okay, so let's for those of us who are, let's see, done. Okay, so we should be in our Google account, okay? And in that Google account, if you're not on this screen, you should click on your Apps button and be in your Drive. So you click on Drive, and it should take you to your Google Drive. So that's the location we should be in. You should have hit Create and created a brand new folder. That new folder should have your first name and then Paper Class after it. Once that folder is created, you want to right-click on it, go down to the Share function, and click on Share. That should open up my Share Settings menu. At the very bottom, you're going to invite me, your instructor, to be a part of your folder. And you're going to want to type in my long email address. If the students just typed in Joe Marquez at cusd.com, it would not share it with me because that is not my Google name. You have to type in the long one, Joe Marquez at clovisusd.k12.ca.us. That's the way it has to go. Yep. And then share it with. Yeah, you have them. Yeah, then you just have them come in and you'd help them set it up on your computer, or if they have a computer. So let's see how many people did that. So let me go on. Now, as the teacher, I'm going to go to the button that says Shared with Me, because it's going to show me everything that is shared with me. And there we go. We have Cass paper class, Lisa paper class, Dulce paper class. So those are all the classes folders that have been shared with me as the instructor. And then as the instructor, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight all of my students. And I'm going to right-click, move to paper class. Now, it's still going to be under my shared menu, but it will also be found, all those people will be found under paper class. Now, in your folder, so I want you to go in your folder. To go in your folder, so on your drive, you would click on your folder. Now you're in your folder. Once you're in your folder, anything you put in there will automatically be shared with me. So they don't have to remember to share anything else. So you would tell them, okay, I want you to create a document titled Assignment Number 1. So all of you would go under Create, Assignment, and then name it. You go to, so everybody in your folder, I want you to hit Create, Document, and when that document opens up, I want you to write, title it, Assignment Number 1. So your first assignment for this session is I want you to write 5 sentences on what you think so far or expect to get out of your students paperlessly. So that's your first assignment. So under assignment 1, I want you to just start typing, and I want you to show, I want you to see what I can do. So let's see if Carol started. She created a document, but she hasn't titled it yet. So I can tell that. Lisa did it correct. I'm going to click on her assignment. And I can see her typing, making sure she's on task from my computer. Now, let's say this was due at the end of class yesterday, and I didn't have time to look at it. And I go, Lisa, when did you start on this assignment? Oh, I finished it yesterday. Well, you can double check by clicking on File and see Revision History. It'll tell you when she started it, what she added, when she added it. And this is great for collaboration because you can have the same assignment shared with 3 students, and their job is to create a 1-page paper that's collaborative. I can tell who did what just by clicking on the revision history. And it'll highlight over there who did what. So I click on Lisa, her revision is in green. So I can tell that they're working on it. Because one of the biggest things I had going on is when I did group assignments, one kid would not do any work and the other 2 picked up the slack. And then I asked, did you do, oh yeah, I did work. I'd go back and look, no work, no points. Just because your name's on it doesn't mean you're going to get points. I can now grade based upon how much they added to the group assignment. Or what I can also do this. I can talk with Lisa and say, do you need help? And so on her screen, she'll get a little message at the bottom and she can reply back. I can come over here and highlight and then click on this little comment button. And as a teacher, I can say, check spelling. Whoop, I got to check my spelling. Comment. And so she knows that this is talking about this. She can go back and change it, and she can reply to this comment, did it. Or she can click resolve, meaning that comment has been resolved, and the comment will go away. Okay, it's a great way as an instructor to hand out an assignment and get kids to be truthful about what they're doing and when they're doing it. I mean, you can also check to see if they're working on it at midnight. You'd be like, why are you working on this at midnight? You should be asleep, type of thing. Yes, they're on Android devices. I mean, that's Google, so they have the best ones. But they also have the same apps on on iPads. And then you, as an instructor, could be at home, and you could just be like, what? You hear a ding, and it's a student asking you a question. You go, all right, let's check your document. You click on it, click on his document, and together you can like, hey, you can highlight and stuff like that. So it works pretty well. It alleviates, having the teacher wheel around that big old box full of papers to take home to grade. So that's how you can do Google Docs digitally. Now, what if you have an assignment already made? Okay, that's where your website comes in, and I'll show you in a second how the students will use that. So I'm going to come around and see if everybody's kind of on the same arena, and I'll come around and help you out. Okay, so this is the app of Google Drive. You don't really need to get into that right now. So let's go ahead and close that out. And let's actually be working with Chrome. So go on the Start menu and see if Chrome is already installed on this computer. Right there. And then go ahead and log into your Gmail. You should be able to fit right there. Now, one of the things that I've come into contact with is a student goes, well, I did share it with you. Well, I don't see it. Have them double check that the shared, that the whole long URL, the whole clovisusd.k12 is correct. They might have forgotten a dot. They might have switched the US and the California. That's always going to be the number one reason that it's not shared with you, or they just didn't share it with you. That's probably the number one. Mm-hmm.
And it's usd.com as well. And I've been using it forever. Before all this, we went over to USD. So I am not recognized. Like mine didn't go there. Kathy used more. I cannot send anything. What the heck?
I should be able to get yours.
You didn't.
I didn't.
No. So
like the opposite wouldn't work though. Like for your students, if you're not using, if the students are using the district issued student Gmail, they cannot receive anything outside the district, or they cannot send anything outside the district. So if you're using a personal Gmail or an old at cusd.com Gmail that a lot of teachers created like 4 or 5 years ago, they will not go through to the students. So you will have to be using the clovisusd.k12. But if you have everything on another Gmail, it's easy to port it over. So we can port it over. But yeah, we'd have to. So
that's what I'm saying. What do I do?
So go ahead and add account, and then type in what you would use to type into your computer, but then at clovisusd.k12. There you go. Now you would type into it like you would be signing into your computer. Yes. Mm-hmm. And then log in. Let's see. Success. There we go.
All year we've tried this.
You know, it's like when you take your car to a mechanic and it doesn't make that noise anymore. Yes, yeah, they're basing everything off of that, the new Vision stuff. So, well, they tried. Yeah, well, I was big on the Doctopus script and the Autocrat script. I'm still using the Form Mule script. They haven't ported that over to the new scripts, to the new Google not slides, Google Sheets. But I tried the add-on Octopus, and it's not as easy as the script Octopus. I liked the script one much better. They tried to make the add-on complicated, and so that's what I was playing with today because I hadn't tried the add-on version. And I was gonna try, but that's the one that I was trying, and it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. It created. Normally, Octopus would create a folder, and in that folder you have the assignment, and then in that assignment you give it to the student. This one creates a new folder, an assignment folder, a teacher folder, an edit folder, a view folder. What are all these folders for? So it just gets it more confusing. But I'm going to try it. Okay. All right. Now, the same deal is for, and this is big with Common Core because they ask to have your students create assignments or projects using digital technology. And so Google's a great place to do it because they have presentations, right? Google presentations. Those can be done with other students. So this is what you would do for them. So you would, in their folder, they would open up and create a presentation. So Lisa, I'm going to create a presentation in your folder. It'll share it with you. And then if you go up to the shared folder, let's just do, okay. So this is the blue button up in the corner that you can add people on. Title, let's check test. Notice that Lisa and I are already being shared. But let's say that Lisa wants to share it with 2 other students because it's a 3-person project. Okay? What the students will want to do is they will all want to create a presentation, and they will all want to share it with their 2 partners. If that's the case, you're going to end up with 3 different projects from 3 different originators being shared with 3 different people. So you always need to have a group leader when you're doing sharing. So you would assign the groups, and then you would say, Lisa, you are the group leader. Other 2 group members, don't do anything. Don't do anything. And so then Lisa would come in, and she would type in the students' names. Now, the names that they would type in would be, it's the first initial, last name, and the last 3 digits. But once they do it once, it gets saved in their thing. And then they would make sure they can edit, and then they'd put send, and now would be shared with those students as well. But you always want to make sure, that was a big problem that I found out a couple years ago. All the students are going to want to be the group leader. All the students then end up sharing with everybody. They start working on the projects, and they're not working on the actual same project. They're working on 3 different ones. So you want to make sure one person creates the project, and that one person shares it with the other 2 group members. Okay, so that's presentations, and all the rest is pretty self-explanatory as well when we look at. Question? No, that's an option. You don't have to download the drive. You can get it. Yeah, you can get it right here. So under Create, that's where you would create the folder we're in. Just your first name, so under Folder, your first name, and then Paper Class. And then you're going to share that with me. So the documents and the presentation are the 2 that you're going to be using the most with your class for creating projects. Now, what about you as a teacher? How can you use this to get feedback from students? And that's where Forms comes in. Has anybody used Forms yet? Google Forms? Okay, a few of us are used to it. Google Forms is basically just a quick check that you can use for your class. Let me get out of Lisa's thing so I'm not. There we go. So the form, so I'll call it paper test. And I'm just going to use the default. Allows you to make any type of questionnaire that you want for the students. For my computer class, they have an automatic attendance form. So they come in, they get on their blog. After they finish their blog, they go to my attendance form, and they take their attendance. And I tell them if they don't do that, I mark them absent, and I will not sign a sheet saying they were there, because I digitally did not know if they were there or not. And it's a digital class. For you, you can do a daily one, such as what did you learn last class period? So just to do a quick check to see. So while they're doing their form, you can sit back and see the responses coming in to see if, I don't remember anything from last class period. I didn't. So that's a nice little quick check. You can also do quizzes off of here. And then using spreadsheet, which it goes to, you can do an automatic grading of your quizzes. So I want everybody to follow along with me. We're going to create a quiz, and then we're going to insert the Flubaroo add-on. It's a funny name, but it's pretty powerful. Okay, so you're going to create a quick 5-question quiz. Yes? Yes. You won't be able to tell the location of where they're doing it from. I mean, you still want to take your attendance as a, like make sure they're actually there. But I also have kids that are absent take attendance because they can still participate in the class. In my computer class, even when the kids were absent, they were still there because they'd be homesick, but they didn't want to miss the class. So they'd still get in their groups, they'd get on their Google Docs, get in their presentation, and they'd still work with their groups. So I consider that as being there. And so they can still sign in for the attendance right there. It also automatically timestamps all of these as well. Okay, so let's do a quick quiz. I always start off with first name. That's the very first question. First name. I'm just titling mine paper test. You could do it test number 1, practice test, something. And then make sure that's a required question, because if they can forget to do that, and it'll still let it submit. I know on the Common Core practice test that they did from Smarter Balanced, they didn't do that. They didn't put down the required question option. And so kids would see the first 5 questions, didn't notice go down to the bottom page, they hit submit, and they got 5 out of 100 because they forgot to scroll down. So this will not allow them to submit unless they've answered that specific question. It's not multiple choice. So we're going to select this box, and we're going to make it a text. And I'm going to hit done there. And then next, add item, last name. This will allow us to sort the spreadsheet out by first name or last name. So I'm putting last name. And if you have multiple periods, like you're not in an elementary setting, if you're multiple periods, I would put down period as well. So you can always select the period. And then finally, email. There is an option to automatically send a response when they are done with the quiz, saying you have successfully completed the quiz. Here are the answers, or here are the ones you got right, here are the ones you got wrong. So you always want to ask for the email because you can select it with that. And now after those first 4 initial questions, you can start giving your quiz. So quiz question 1, what color is an orange? Now you can leave it as an open-ended question, or you can leave it as a multiple choice question. And if you do it as multiple choice, you can put in red, blue, orange, purple. And notice those will be their options on the quiz. Next question, how many planets are there? Question mark. You can leave it open-ended, or you can do it multiple choice, or you can do it choose from a list. Choose from a list is a kind of a drop box, and it drops down, and they can choose from a list. For these tests for the students, I always like that. I still do multiple choice. So we'll go 8, 9, 7, 4, or 5. Add item. What is better, cat or dog? 8. You don't count Pluto. That's a planetoid or a minor planet. I guess. You can see if they're paying attention in class. When is our next test? And then you can have it as a date. And so they would have to come in and fill the date in for that test. Now notice there's one thing I've done wrong all the way through, and that is I did not select the required question. You know you selected it when the little red dot is next to your question. So I got to go back through and select that. Bless you. What's that? You know, I haven't even checked on that. Let's see. I don't believe so. Not on this one. You mean like a picture? You could, oh, you know, I've never tried that. You probably could cut and paste and put it into the question right here. You can also, under help text, you can put a link. Click on this link and do that. For some reason, and I still cannot figure out why, when logged in under Clovis Unified, all the newer features for forms is not available. Like add a picture is a new thing you can do in forms, but it still will not show up under the Clovis Unified one. If I made this under my personal one, I can insert a picture right then and there. Like, what country is this? Right? And then they'd have to answer. But so let's just stop that for right now. Required question. And what is that? That means, like, if you want a little bit more instruction on the question, like it says, which is better, a cat or the dog? And I have to say, like, your opinion. Right? That's not how you spell opinion. But that's what the help text is for, to give them a little bit more direction for that question. Now, I can check and see what my form will look like. But up here, if you're making it under Clovis Unified, that box right there, require Clovis Unified School District login to view this form, that means the students have to be logged into their Gmail. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to take this quiz. So if you trust your students enough to come in and log into their Gmail right away, leave it clicked. If you don't trust them, unclick it, because then they can get to it no matter what. I would say keep it clicked just so the first few weeks they know to log into their Gmail. That's part of their routine as they come into class. I'm going to view the live form. I'm going to take the quiz twice. I'm going to do it once 100% as the correct answers, and the second one with some wrong answers. So color in orange, I'll put the first one. I always want to do 100%. 8, dog, of course. And our next test is on June 27th. And then I'm going to hit submit. And I'm going to want to take it one more time. And this time I'm going to mark a couple wrong. So blue is the color of an orange. 9 planets. And then December 27th. There we go. And why did I do that? Because we're going to insert the Flubaroo script. So once you're done with your quiz and you've taken it yourself twice, we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few more minutes to finish that up, and we're going to move on to the next step, which is adding the Flubaroo. Well, it's not called a script anymore. It's called an add-on. I guess they figure that makes it sound nicer. Don't worry about it. You're going to, oh, you answered all the questions already? Oh, it's automatically finalized. So all changes are saved. Every keystroke is automatically saved for you. You don't have to save anything. And then so to take the test, click on View Form, and you can take it. Yeah, I forgot to say that. Everything you do in Google is automatically saved. Every keystroke, everything you do is automatically saved. So if your computer shuts down by accident or something happens, all your work will not be lost. Everything does get saved. Oh, so yeah, you don't want to do it there. You want to click View Live Form, and that'll help you take the test. There you go. That's what the students will see. And so while we're waiting, what was the name of my blog? I forget. Yeah, test. Okay, so test 70 is my blog. So I'm gonna make a new post. I'm gonna have you all take my quiz. Now this is how you can do it on your blog. That quiz needs to find a home. It even needs to be put on your website, or it can be put on your blog post for the day. So the way we're gonna do that is this way. We're gonna go to our, where is it? Where is my, there it is. So I would go to View Live Form. And I'm going to copy this link. Copy. And then I'll go to my blog. And I'll say quiz. Actually, you don't want to do that. It'll scare them. Please take the quiz here. And then you're going to highlight it and click link. And then that's where you're going to put the hyperlink. So I'll show you what I did again. So I wrote on my quiz, I went to my live form and I copied the URL. I just highlighted it, right-click, copy. Then I went to my blog and created new post. I labeled the post quiz, and then I typed in, please take the quiz here. I'm going to highlight that and click link. And then I'm going to paste the hyperlink right there. And now I'm going to publish it. Yes, I'll definitely do it one more time. So once you typed in, so let me unhyperlink it here, remove. Once you've typed in, please take the quiz here, you want to make sure that you've copied the URL from your live quiz. You're going to highlight the words, please take the quiz here. Click on link, and it says, where do you want it to link to? I want it linked to my quiz, and I'm going to hit OK. And then I will hit publish. I don't want to share it with Google+. And so now when the kids click on view, they can click on the quiz, and it will appear. So if you can go to my blog, remember it's testtest70.blogspot.com. You can all take the quiz, and then I'll show you the Flubaroo script. It's much better when there's a whole bunch of people who have taken it. Yep, testtest70.blogspot.com. So if you can all go there, you should be able to find my quiz and take it. And then we will run the Flubaroo instant grading add-on. Yes. Oh, it's already published. You just have to go to View Live Form. There you go.
Okay, and then that's the.
And then that's going to be the URL you want to copy and paste into your blog. And so this is a great way of, once again, your kids come in, they go to your blog, they see that, oh, we have a quiz we have to take. They click on it, and boom, they take the quiz. That quiz will instantly be recorded into a spreadsheet, which I'm going to show you in a second. And then we're going to do a little add-on to that that'll instantly grade the quiz. And if you want, we'll send the answers out to the students once everybody is done. To get to mine, so just right up here, type in testtest70.blogspot. Oh, make sure it's a B. Blog. There we go. Blogspot.com.
And I never did get mine to work where I was trying to do that address in there.
Huh. There we go. And you can take the quiz. And which one weren't we able to?
On mine, blog, and then I'm trying to title it blog, and everything I type in here is coming out. Everything.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So it's multiple.
Yeah. You got it. So in the URL up at the top, right here, type in testtest70.blogspot.com. There you go. Ah, good. So remember when I clicked on you must have a Clovis Unified email to do it? So if you're not Clovis Unified, I made a mistake. So let me go over, and I can always change it. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to unrequire that. And it's automatically saved. So now if you're on there, you can hit reload, and it should allow you to get on it now if you're not logged into a Clovis Unified. Whatever you want. If you want to do it correct, you can do it correct. If you don't, you don't have to. So this one, so you'd want to actually open up a new blade for me. And then right here, type in testtest70.blogspot.com. So it'll be right there. And so as a teacher, I can click on View Responses, and I can see all the people who have taken it. and it gives me a timestamp of the date and the actual up to the millisecond of when they took it. Once everybody's done, I can separate by period by clicking there. It'll reset it by period. I can separate it by last name to find it easier. But now watch what I'm going to do now. So we have a lot of people already taking it. It's fine. Yes. Or it's going to be actually under your drive. It'll be found into your drive as well. So see paper test, and it'll be under responses under your drive. So that's the spreadsheet that it automatically creates and collates all the things for you. I'm going to go to this little thing called an add-on. So up at the very top between form and help, I'm going to click on add-on. And I guess I've already downloaded it. Once you download it, you have the option for it on all of your spreadsheets. But you're going to click on the thing that says Get Add-on. And all these things will come up. And looky here. Flubaroo is the biggest one on there because it's the one most used by teachers. There's 23,000 users of Flubaroo compared to 31 of Workflow. So you'd click on it, and then yours will say add-on or install or something. Mine says manage because I already have it downloaded. And then once you click, I think it says install. And then once you do that, you'll find it right here under add-ons. So go ahead and add that Flubaroo script. What? Let's see. Oh, this is our summary of responses. We want to look at sometimes it doesn't create a response destination for you. You have to make one. So you click on it, and it's already there for you. Then you just hit create. There we go. Now you can click on view responses, and it will appear there. I don't know how Google decides when to do it or not, but sometimes on your form, instead of saying view responses, it'll say select response destination. And then all you have to do is click on it and hit OK, because it automatically creates the destination for you. I believe there is an option on there that says, hey! Right there.
Okay, I did that, but then he gave me this video. It's like different from yours. Oh, of course, because you're here. Whatever.
It's always the case. Okay, so did you take it already? Okay, so go ahead and click on View Responses. Here we go. You're going to click on, I'll just hit next, or skip tour. Yes, that's fine. There we go. You're going to click on Add-ons, Get Add-ons, Flubaroo, and Free. And it'll ask you, is it okay? And so scroll down and just say yes. Accept. Perfect. And then now under add-ons, you'll have an option for Flubaroo.
Oh, okay.
Okay. After you click on add-ons and it brings up the Flubaroo option, and you know it says, it's in blue, it says free because it doesn't cost anything. You click on it, it'll ask if it's okay to access your Google account. Yes, because you're the one that's running Flubaroo. It's not like the company Flubaroo is going to access your Google account. You're the one using it. So you want to be able to access all those materials. So you just scroll down and hit accept. And then once again, you should be on your form, and after you've installed it, if you click on add-ons, you should now see the option that says Flubaroo right there for you. Under Flubaroo, we're going to select grade assignment. Grade assignment. And so at the bottom you see it's working. And so it wants to make sure that it understands what you're doing. So it wants you to know that first name identifies the student, yes. Last name identifies the student, yes. Period identifies the student, and email identifies the student. That means those questions will not be graded. And then the following ones are questions that will be graded. If you feel one question is worth more than another, instead of making it worth 1 point, you can make it worth 2 points or 5 points. Or if you don't want it to be a question that's going to be graded, you can hit skip grading, and it won't grade that question. But I'm going to make them worth all 1 point, and I'm going to hit continue. It's going to then ask me which one of the responses is your answer key. It's the first one that you did, so I'm going to select the first one. That is our answer key, and then I'm going to hit continue. And now it's grading the assignment, and there we go. View grades. Notice it did not delete any of your spreadsheet. It just created a new sheet called grades, and you can see all the people who passed the class, which is 3 or above, and all that did not, which is 2 or below, and it's red. And you can scroll across and see which ones they missed. And once everybody's done taking the quiz and you want to send out the answers to your students, you would click on add-ons, email, grades. And it knows that email is their email address, and it will send the grades out. So email grades, working. This is what question is the email, and it's the email question. Do you want to include the answer key or not? You can do that or not. Do you want to include the list of the question and their scores, usually? And then do you want to send a personalized email to your student? And then you hit continue. And then it tells you 14 grades were successfully sent out to the students. Now, here's one problem with that. At the very top, we are working under our Clovis Unified Gmail, and as of currently, the district has turned off emailing functions for Google for all employees. They like you to use Outlook as your email function. Since they've turned it off, you're not allowed to send out emails through Google. Therefore, none of these emails actually went out. So, is there a workaround? Yes. You would have to create like a Mr. Marquez at gmail.com type thing. But then what's wrong with that? The students won't be able to receive your emails because it's outside the district. So I personally created a brand new Google Apps for Education account just for Alta Sierra, and I got that URL unblocked for us. So we can send emails to students and parents and everything. But I think we're the only school that has their own personal Google Apps for Education. I will talk to the rest of the TSAs and see if they can get that done for other sites around school. But I'm trying to figure out a way to get that unblocked because this is a huge, huge function. Okay? So anybody need to see that one more time? You got it. All right, so all I did was this. Under add-ons, I checked Flubaroo. We good there? Good. And so then I clicked on grade assignment. And since I've already graded it, there's now the option of a regrade. Okay, that's why you always want to do it at the end of the assignment. So I'm going to click on regrade, and it'll work, and it will regrade. It deletes the grade sheet and then creates another one. It says, understand, we're going to regrade all of them. Is that okay? And the answer is yes. And so this one asks to identify the question. The top 4 are just identifying the students, so we just leave it as identifying student. Flubaroo does a pretty good job at identifying which ones are just student info, and the bottom ones are actual questions. And you can change the points if you think one question should be worth more than another. And then you hit continue. And make sure that the first one is checked because that's your answer key, because you took the test first with all the correct answers. Then you hit continue. And there it is. It's all graded, and now you can view the grades. It will not work for short answers unless it'll do multiple answers. Yeah, if your answer was 2 answers that are correct, then make sure on your answer key that's what you've selected and do it that way. There is a way to do a short answer one with keywords, but that's a little bit more involved using a formula script with an added on sum checker equation. A little bit longer session for that one. Now I'm going to check your answers to, let's see, your names. Where are they at? My Drive, quiz. I think it was there. Nope, that's not it. Maybe I did it under my other one. There it is. So I had you all ask a question. I had you do the class list, and then there's all the responses. Was there anybody that did not fill this part out? It was on the Paperless Classroom website all the way to the bottom. Right here, this first name, last name, Gmail. Did everybody fill that out? If you haven't, if you could please go to the Paperless Classroom website that we're working off of and fill that out. I want to show you how you can force a document into a student's drive. Like you can just set it up and be like, here, I gave it to you, and it's in a folder you already created for them, shared with them, with the name that you wanted it to be named under, and you have total control over it. Now, I was hoping that Google would have sent out their invitations for Google Classroom at this point. Google Classroom is an all-encompassing addition to Google Apps for Education, where they insert Flubaroo and the thing I'm going to show you called Doctopus and all these different things, and they tried to make Google user classroom friendly like Edmodo. And I like that a lot for the fact that Edmodo is good because you can hand out assignments and collect assignments and grade assignments, but after junior high, no one is going to use Edmodo. After high school, the students aren't going to use Edmodo, and no businesses are really using Edmodo. They will be using Google. So for Google to come out with a product that makes it easier for teachers to hand out assignments and grade assignments and collect assignments is a very good idea for them. And they're testing it out with select invites only. You have to apply to Google through an invite button, and you will receive an email back to see if you're accepted. They haven't done that yet. It was supposed to be early June, and it's now middle June. But it is available for everybody September 15th. Everybody can use it. and I was hoping it'd be out so I can show you how to use it and you'd be top of everybody before everybody started. But we have to go the back way with Doctopus. Okay, so if everybody could fill that out, I'm going to show you really quick an option. You don't have to actually use this because, as I was telling someone earlier, it can get a little complicated. But the good thing is we have time today to work through some problems, and this whole session is being recorded, so you can always go back and see what I did again. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to add-ons. Well, it's already on there. I don't know how are they already on there. Okay, but you would go under add-ons, you'd click on Get Add-on, and then there's Doctopus. It's an octopus with documents, so they call it Doctopus. You'd click on it, select the free button, say yes, you may, do all that stuff. But the whole point is it has to be done under a form where you have collected the first name, the last name, and the email. It needs to be done on a form that collects those three things. That's why I always start my forms with those three questions. Yes. Doctopus. Yeah, you can actually do it on both if you wanted to. You can do a Flubaroo add-on and a Doctopus add-on on the same form. So if the form had the kid's first name, last name, and Gmail, you can add the Doctopus onto that. And then so as soon as they're done with the quiz, you can push the next assignment out to them.
You have to put an add-on on each thing?
Once you've downloaded the add-on, it puts it on to all your future forms. Yeah. It's not on anything. It's just they know that when you open up a spreadsheet, you have the option of now choosing that as an option now under add-ons. So let's see. I've only done this once. And I was used to the script version, but they tried to make it more user-friendly, and by doing that, they made it more complicated. So I'm going to click Launch. And it's working. And it'll appear off to the right over here by the cursor. It'll appear. And it goes Select Roster. Now, you can have an already pre-made roster. So at the beginning of the year, you can just have the students do a form that just has these three questions and then save that off to the side and just call it Class Roster, Period 1 Roster, Period 2 Roster. But since I didn't know who was going to be here today, this is our roster that we're creating. So I'm going to hit Select Roster, and I'm going to build a new roster. So my previous session, I already have them in here. But I don't want them, I want you. So I'll click Build a New Roster. And how do I want to build it? By using the names and email on this sheet. So I'm going to select on this sheet. And so it's looking and looking and looking, and it will create a new roster on the bottom as a new sheet. So I will hit Create Roster. Now I've already selected all the names and all the emails, so I'm just going to copy and paste. There they all are. I'm going to name this, refresh. There we go. This one didn't have an email, so it's invalid. And I don't know why that one's invalid. Oh, there we go. So we can change that. Let's refresh it again so that you'll be added on. There we go. And we're going to name this Paper Class and create class folders. Create and share folders. Now, if you use the Clovis Gmail email in your drive, you should now see a folder called Paper Class. You should now see a shared folder called Paper Class, and I can now share any document with you all at the same time. And you can all start working on the assignment right when I say submit. So it's still creating all the folders. So this is another good way at the beginning of the year, instead of having the kids create a folder and then share it with you, and then you put all those folders in your folder, if you do this just once, not only does it add all the students to your folder, but it labels the folder exactly what you want it to be labeled as, last name first, then first name, then the class, and then you can actually just drop it in a say I want to share this document. It'll send it out to every student as a shared document from you. And with this, you have a feature called embargo. So let's say you give the students 5 minutes to work on this assignment. After 5 minutes, you hit the button that says embargo. They can no longer work on it. So it gives you a little bit more power. It all depends if that wheel stops turning, though. Actually, as long as you gave me the email that your Google Drive is under. So if you're using the Gmail and you're using that Google Drive, it'll appear under that Google Drive. If you used a Yahoo, I don't think it'll work. So while this is going, I'm going to hand out some more tickets because I always forget to hand these out. There we go. You mean is it the clovisusd.k12.ca? Oh, does Selma have an Apps for Education Google thing? Then it should be under that one. Oh. So what's that?
Is that coming from the form that we sent you originally? Or?
No, this is a brand new one. Okay. There you go. Well, my hope is that the classroom, Google Classroom, all this is implemented in it. So what I've heard by talking with some of the people that are helping develop it is all you have to do is give your students a class number, and they go into their Google account and they type in add class. You give them your class number, it creates a folder, and then whenever you want to share a document, you put on share with class, and whichever class you share it with, they will all get it. And so you don't have to go through all of this add-on stuff. It makes it much easier for the teacher, because as you can see, with just 20 people, look how long that cog is taking. I don't know why it's taking so long. Oh, let me see if I have any more. I don't have any more. I'll have her come back in, see if she can make it rain some more. Oh. It should just show up. I'm trying to figure out why it's not showing up. We'll try it one more time, but it doesn't work. We'll just skip this. I don't know what's going on. Choose roster. Paper class. Next. Okay, so the folders should be created. There were some emails that didn't work, so that's what was holding it up. But everybody that's on here, there's 16 of us, 14 of us, that gave me a correct email that it's connected to your Gmail. It should appear. And so it's going to ask what kind of sharing do I want to do, because I'm going to send you a document. Do I want to send it to all individuals it's the same document? Do I want to send it all differentiated? Do I want to send it in just groups so it'll let me send it to 3 people at a time? Or do I want to send it to the whole class as a shared document? I want everybody to get their own. So I'm going to click on individual, but it's all the same. So they're all going to get their own document, but it all looks the same. Yeah, it should be under shared. Maybe if I push the document out, it'll show up. So all the same, access, good, good. So everything else is good on here. I'm not going to make any changes on that screen. If we were using the old script, it would have been done 5 minutes ago. So I have folders created for Eve McGuire, Cynthia Hernandez, Gary Franz, Allison Vargas, Greg Johnson, Cassie Messick, Jody Anderson, and Adrian Cardenas. So those are the ones that it created. I don't know what happened to the other ones. I don't know why they all didn't get created. There we go. And then there's the demo questions. Oh, all right, so I'll go back to this. And so for those people, I'm going to push out a document quiz to you. And that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. There we go. And so those people that you saw their names up on the screen, as soon as this cogwheel is done, you should be able to see the document appear in your folder. Yes. So it just created one for Adrian. And then Cassie. So you can see it all made. And then you can actually get into their document while they're working on them. As you can tell, this would be a great thing to do before class starts, so they already have it in their folder when it's begun, because you never know how long the Wi-Fi is going to take and all those things. But while this is going, where's Adrian, Cassie, or Greg? If you can get in your folders and open up that document, and you can start answering the questions. And this will be one of those to be continued things. Let me show you another website that I use all the time in my class as a quick little starter. And it's, hopefully they unblocked it today, polleverywhere.com. Has anybody ever used Poll Everywhere in their class? Okay, Poll Everywhere is a quick little quiz type station that you can do from any device. And what I do is I create a poll up on the screen when they walk in, and they can use a computer, a cell phone, a tablet, any of those things to answer the questions. So if you would create an account, the free one, we don't like to pay for anything. The free account, I'll show you how to create a poll, and then I'll show you how it works. So I'll put a poll up right now. And so when the kids come in, this is what they'll see on the screen the moment they walk into class. So my students walk into class, get in their seats, they have out their packets and any books that they need for that day, and they take out their device. I have been a BYOD policy in my classroom, bring your own device, so they can bring a cell phone, a tablet, a computer, anything that they will need for this class. Now, is every student going to have one? No. So I have a sharing policy. If you have a device and you're willing to share, I'll give you a point of extra credit for today's activities. And so when they give their response, they'll not only give their response, but put their name next to it, so I know that they allowed someone else to share. And so what they would do is if they have a cell phone, and so if you have a cell phone, I'd like you to try this right now as well. I want you to open up a new text, and where you would normally put the cell phone number, the 2 line, you're going to put 37607. So you're going to open up a new text, and you're going to put in 37607. And then in the message portion, you're going to put in 115469 and then a space, and then whatever answer you have. So once again, where you would put the cell phone number, you're going to type in 37607, and where you would put the message, you're going to type in 115469, then a space, and then your answer. This is a free service, so you're not going to get the student's name unless they put the name in there. The pay for service, they do allow you to have students sign in under your class, and then you would actually get to see their name. But you can see them pop up. They're pretty good. This is just the word wall. These polls can actually be used in a PowerPoint presentation. So instead of having to go to the website every time, you can actually install the presenter app. You just download the app. It automatically installs itself into PowerPoint. And then all you would do would download the slide and then drag it over into your PowerPoint presentation. And it automatically creates a slide with this poll that pops up. I do this after every 3 or 4 slides to ask questions based on what we just looked at. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So all you do is you hit create new poll, and I'll put in I don't know. I've made too many quizzes today. What is your what's your favorite color? And it gives you these options. It gives you a word cloud option. We just looked at the cluster option, a ticker option that just goes across the screen, a text wall. If you want multiple choice, it can be true or false or anything else. Or if you want a clickable image, upload the images you want. The kids can, which one of these is the, a cat, which one of these is a dog, if you're looking for anything below 3rd grade. Or language class, absolutely. If you do the multiple choice, it'll give you the bar graph on what's going up. But if we do I like the word cloud for things like this. And it does the little Mario Brothers sound. And so if you try this poll, notice the phone number or the text number never changes. So you can have your students save that number into their phone under like class poll. And so whenever they want to send a new class poll, they just click on class poll as the recipient, and then they just text 288971 space and then the number. So if you'll try this one, the ones that are given the most will get bigger and bigger and bigger. The answers that are given the least get smaller and smaller and smaller. Periwinkle. Is it like purple? Blue purple? You will not be able to tell which kids are the ones that are doing it. Just to kind of see where the majority of the class is everybody going to participate? No, but when you get them to take their cell phones out, the majority of them will. Well, what are you going to do with those students who pretend that they're doing it, but they're doing other stuff on their phone? Well, they're already doing other stuff on their phone. They just don't have their phone out. They're doing it under their desks. They're doing it here and there. I always say, if 20% of the kids are already messing with their phone, why deprive the 80% of the chance to do something beneficial with it, right? I always say, let them have their phone. Somebody misuse it big time to make sure nobody else wants to do it. Cell phone discipline cluster. Don't give it back till Friday. And if the parents have a problem with it, they can call me and I'll tell them exactly. The kids will never tell their parents. They will go without a phone because they don't want their parents to know. There was one kid that said he lost it, and that's how far he went. But I mean, you gotta put your foot down, and I'll even have other kids say, "Don't do the chance." Okay. So, but I like this one as well to come up. Now, I took a chance with this. Is it going to work every time? No, something to work every time. That is where your LMS comes in, your learning management system, aka your web. Oh, and once this is here, you can embargo docs. That means after a day of working on the assignment, they can no longer work on it. So who was actually working on the quiz that I handed out? Okay, if I hit embargo for grading, you're no longer going to be able to work on that assessment. It stops you. It says, sorry, time's up. But let's go to our website. So let's say on my website, this is another thing I needed to show you, an announcement page. An announcement page is a kind of a running list or itinerary of what you've done that day and previous days. So if I scroll down, you can see all my past assignments all the way to the beginning of the year. And so I can have my students right here. So we had a balancing, that's not what I wanted. We had a balancing equation worksheet that a lot of kids said they lost. And I don't give extra papers out if I give them a paper at all. They know where to find it. So they go to the day when the worksheet was handed out. It says when it was due, and all they do is click on that. And this is the assignment right here. They can click on this assignment. This will take them to my drive. They will not be able to edit it, but it will take them to my drive. And from here, they can print out a new copy, or they can make a copy for themselves and save it in their shared folder. And when they save it in their shared folder, it's also shared with me. So that they say, I finished the assignment, it's in my, it'll be titled Practice Balancing Equation Worksheet, that they actually filled in all the answers digitally in their folder. So this is how you can hand out assignments as well. You can just tell them, go to our announcements, click on the assignment that you missed, or click on the assignment that we're doing today, and copy yourself a copy. Make sure it's in your shared folder, and now it's already shared with you. So if you don't want to go the Doctopus route, because that scares you a little bit, it still scares me a little bit because it's still working on stuff, they can now have a copy of it just like that. How does it get back to them? Well, you can leave a comment right here, highlight, leave a comment. You can say, great job, you got a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. You can highlight something and say, these were wrong, please review, and they can go back over and review them. And then once you leave a comment, they can leave a comment back saying, I finished, and then you can click the button that says resolved, and then give them full credit again. So you can do it that way. How do you do that, though? How do you put a document like this on your website? Does anybody know how to put a document like this on your website? Well, there's two different ways. I like to put the actual physical document so they can look at it and go, oh, that's the one. Because 9 out of 10 times, it's in their backpack. Oh, I didn't know that's what you were talking about. Then they'll pull it out of their backpack and turn it in. So to do this, I'm going to open up my fake website that I just created this morning for my Google Site class. Right there. What did I name it? Bootcamp. Okay, so this is the one we made this morning really quickly. Let's say I want to put an assignment right here. Actually, let me make a new page. So who in here uses their Google site all the time? Okay, we should start. Google Sites are a great place for students to get information, parents to get information. I mean, you'd be amazed at when I have an IEP or a 504 and I bring in my laptop and go, now look, and I show them everything and they're like, whoa, we didn't know they can get it. Yeah, they can get everything. So I'm going to add a new page. So that's what this button up here is to do, add a new page. Whoops. And I'm going to put it at the top level, hit create. Go. And under assignments, I'm going to make another subpage just called assignment 1. Just name it assignment 1. Whoops. Gotta love spell check. And I'm going to put it under assignments. It defaults to top level. That means it's going to make a brand new page all on its own. We want to make sure it gets put under the assignments page. And so now this is the awesome part. It's the easy part. All you do is click on Insert, Drive, Document. And all of your assignments that you've done are right there. All the assignments that are in your Google Drive will be right there. Let's say Math 3, Unit 2. Select. Save. And save. Now that assignment is posted on the page, and they can click here to view it and copy a copy for themselves and put it in their class folder. What if your document is not created in Google Drive? What if it's a Word document? Does anybody know how to get it on Google Drive? If you have a Word document and you want to put it on Google Drive? If that's the case, all you do is this. You go to your Google Drive. Make sure you have a folder that you know where all your documents are for your classes. Name it something. But you're going to hit, instead of create, you're going to hit up, because you want to upload your document to Google Drive. Upload document. And let me go to Science, Motion, Fast Facts, Word. No, that's not going to work. Let's see, Handouts. There we go. Chapter 1, Cornell Style Notes. Open. And it uploads right to your drive. But here's the problem. If I try to insert that into my document, it will not, because it doesn't accept Word document. But it's still pretty easy. All I have to do, right-click, open with Google Docs. It'll instantly convert your Word document into a Google Doc document. This is also good with PDFs. Let's say you download a PDF off the internet because it's a great worksheet. But the teacher that put it up there put their name on it. And you want to make it look like you made it. You can't delete it because it's saved. The PDF is frozen. You can upload the PDF to your drive and then click Open with Google Docs. It'll convert the PDF to a Google Doc. You can change the name, and now it's saved there, and you can put it on your website. So now let me convert it. All I do is click Google Docs. It opens it up, that little thing saying we're converting it for you. Boom, just like I made it. Almost exactly like the Word document that I made for it. I mean, they're doing a really good job. The first couple years of Google Docs, horrible job at conversion. Everything would be jumbled up. The fonts that you use wouldn't font over. It was horrible. The past 6 months, they've really done a good job at really good conversions, almost word for word, table for table with that. Now I can take this one. It's still titled Chapter 1, Cornell Notes. It's still titled that. But notice, look at the different icon. This one's a W for a Word document. This one is a doc icon for a Google Doc. Now I can go to my website. I have too many blades open. There we go. Now I can go to this. Insert or edit. Put the cursor where I want it to go. Insert, drive, document. And it will bring up the most recent one. So we just made this one. Click on it. Select. Save. Right there. So now it's on there. And once again, they can click here. It'll open it up in their drive, uneditable, but they can make a copy, put it in their folder now. Now it's shared with you. Now they can, as you're doing your lecture, they can fill in their notes right there. Question? It absolutely does. And they're doing a very good job at doing that as well. So if you notice in my website, if I go to PowerPoints, all my PowerPoints were made in PowerPoint, but I converted them over to Google. And they can just go through it right on your web page, slide for slide, pretty much spot on with your PowerPoint. Is there going to be a time where it's not spot on? Yeah, you might have to do a little bit of dragging over and cleaning up, but you can't put a PowerPoint on here. It won't let you in. It won't. You can absolutely put a copy of your PowerPoint as a file down here under Add Files. You can put any file that you want, Word document, PowerPoints, anything that you want. But the kid has to actually physically download it, and they have to have PowerPoint. If they don't have PowerPoint, they're not going to be able to view it. With slides, on any browser, mainly Chrome though, hopefully you're using Chrome, they can view it without having to download anything, without needing a special file or viewer. They can just watch it right on their website. And then we're recording right now. I record all my lessons as well. And so they're all right there for them to follow along the PowerPoint and see where we stopped and added things to it. You can also add a filing cabinet if you want, but that filing cabinet will only be the actual files themselves, not a document from Google Drive, so it's not going to be shared with you. So I highly, highly, highly recommend not adding the files down here, but embedding them directly into the folder up here so that it will be shared with you. At the beginning of this session, we showed you how to share that folder to the teacher, and now the teacher has all the folders. Anything they put in those folders is now shared with you. And so this is a way to do it, rather than going through that whole Doctopus fiasco, which, I mean, if it worked perfect, it'd be great, but it doesn't anymore. This is the best way to have shared documents, and they work on them, and you can view them, and you can follow along, all without having to make copies of all of this work. Question? Yeah, Google Classroom, I seriously believe, after the people I've talked to, it's going to have the push document to a specific folder with a specific name automatically shared with you. I highly believe that. And so will some of this kind of go out the window? A little bit. But the problem is your district, because not everybody here's Clovis, your district has to have applied for Google Docs for Education. Classroom is only available for Google Docs for education schools. So if you're using Google on your own, like your own personal one, because you're that tech teacher and your district is not quite there yet, you're not in Classroom. You will not have access to Google Classroom. So this will still work for those teachers who will not be able to get into Classroom until their district is a Google Apps for Education district. Luckily, Clovis is already. A lot of districts, it's hard to get all those students' names pushed in unless you have the right software. But I still like using this for the fact that under every single one of my units, I have my most recent announcements. And so if they were absent, they don't have to go searching all over my website for any assignment. They go, we're on Unit 5, and the last thing we did was homework check 9 to 13. The last test we took, the next test is in 1 week. So have I shown you guys how to put an announcement widget onto your computer? No, because the two classes that I did there are melding together, and I forget what I've shown and what I haven't shown. So if you have a Google site, so switching a little bit of gears right now on how to implement this into your Google site, you want to create a new page called Announcements. So you can call it Class Announcements or Class Notes or whatever. Hey, look right here. You call it whatever you want. But under Web Page, you don't want it to be made a web page. It's defaulted to web page, but you don't want to click that. You want to select Announcements. You have all these different options for what to create, but you want to create Announcement page. And I'm going to hit Create. And this creates a running post, almost like a blog. So if you don't want to go the blog route, if you don't want to do the blogger route, this is another great way to implement step by step. These are the things you need to know for the day. And so under New Post, you could type today, June 18th. So the kids know that's the day. And then you type, you could put down, please complete the assignment here. And I can highlight this. It says, please complete the assignments here. I'm highlighting it. And up here at the top, there's a little link button. That's a hyperlink button. And I'm going to link it to my assignments page that I just made called Assignments 1. Now I click OK. Now it's linked. Now I hit Save. So now they can, now if I go to my home page, all I have to do now, let me delete this thing. Let me change the layout. You can change the layout of your website any way you want by clicking Layout. I'm going to go back to the one column. All I have to do to put in my announcements on any page, I click Insert, Recent Posts, and I have an option. Class Notes is the one that I want to embed. So I click Save, and now it's right there. Recent announcement. Today, June 18th. Please complete the assignments here. So I click on it, click on the assignments I need to complete, and there they are. The assignments that they should be completing, access to the download, access to the copy, and then they can put it in their folder and begin working on it. Now, while you're taking all of this in, I know it's a lot of stuff. I've had people ask me, how long did it take you to implement these things? 4 years and counting. It's taken a long time. Some of the stuff I learned, I've thrown away. I don't use anymore. Some new stuff are coming in. Classroom's coming in. I might have to change my whole strategy and approach because it's going to be easier and easier, but it takes time. You do one thing, just do one change. I don't expect anybody who's never gone paperless before to go completely paperless. I give you the task of just try to get your students to create a folder and share that with you. If that's what you've done, perfect. You don't need to do anymore. Make a blog as the access point for the day's activity. If that's all you can do, stop. Don't do anymore. Don't do anything that's going to make work harder for you. The whole point of this is to make it easier for you. And if any of it seems harder for you, don't do it. That's not the point of this. If any of this stuff is going to hinder your capability of being a better teacher, don't do it. But do one or two things. Try one or two things that you feel comfortable with and implementing. And once you got that down, try something else. And then once you got that down, try something else. It's going to take years and years of practice. But the awesome thing is, if we all try something at all levels, by the time we get students to our level, they've been doing it already, and they can help us, right? These kids know a lot more than we do now, and so they'll help us implement some of these things as well. But just try. I really don't want anybody to leave here and go, wow, that's a lot of stuff. I can't do all that. Please don't do all of it. I beg you, don't do all of it. It's a lot of stuff. But try one thing. Try one thing that you learned today and feel comfortable with. And then if that works, try something else. You can always go back over this session and see, oh, I did this correctly. Now let me try this next one. And let me try this next one. You all have my email. It's on the Paperless Classroom website. Plus, it's just joemarquez@usd.com. Unless you want the long one, clovisusd.k12.ca. You can try that one. You have access to me from now and forever. Email me, call me. If you want to meet up at a Starbucks and we'll go over some of these things, fine. If you really want to hang out, we can go to Neighbors or some other place like that, and we can hang out and get some stuff cracked out. Okay? Call me. Don't be shy. Don't be like, oh, he's probably too busy. No, I'm not. I mean, I have summer school for 2 weeks after this, and then I'm done, and all I'm doing is working on my website and working on implementing a seamless classroom. I'm still working on that. How can I make this as seamless as possible? I'm still trying to figure all that out. So we can always bang our heads together, and you might have, hey, why don't you try doing it this way? Oh, that's a great idea. I don't know why I never thought of it. So let's, work off each other. It's that, what's that saying? Iron sharpens iron, right? Good ideas bouncing off good ideas makes better ideas. Bounce them off. So I'm going to show you one more thing if you haven't done it already, and that's Remind. Has anybody used Remind yet? Good, good. Does anybody not know what Remind is? It used to be called Remind 101. They changed the name on Monday to just Remind. Okay. I would like you to go to remind.com and sign up for an account. It's free, doesn't cost any money. This is a great tool for you to stay in contact with your parents and your students. You can send them your web page through it. They can click on it and get straight there. You can send them an assignment through it now. You can attach an assignment to it, and they can get it right on their phone and then save it in their drive, and now they have it without having to go to your website. If a student is absent, you click on their name, send them a message, and it'll go straight to their phone. They can't respond back to it. It's a one-way message service. So they can't be like, well, I don't want to do this right now. Well, too bad. I tell parents to do this to their kids, right? Hey, don't forget to pick up your room when you come home. They can't reply back and say, oh, I'm going to be too busy. It's just, do what I tell you, because you can't respond back. So I highly recommend you sign up for Remind, previously Remind 101. I would like you to fiddle with your Google Drive. I would like you to mess around with your web page. If there's something you would like to implement in your web page that you haven't been able to or don't know how to, please call me over, and I'll brainstorm with you a couple ideas on what you can do to your web page to make it more parent-friendly and student-friendly. If you would like to ask a little more questions about Blogger and how I implement that in my class, feel free as well. But I always like to end sessions like this with all this information, with free time for you to just decompress, See if you can do things that you've learned on your own by yourself. And if you can't do it, you have me to call you over. So the next 45 minutes is your time to just practice. Practice with Poll Everywhere. Practice, try to get on Remind 101. There's a great site called Every Slide that you can upload your PowerPoints to and add little quizzes to it. And if you're in a one-to-one classroom, computers in every hand, that's a great thing to utilize. Every Slide. Feel free to click on. Let's see, where's it at? Too many blades. Feel free to click on resources. Come on. Well, it's freezing up on me now. Under resources, there's a lot of great Common Core activities to get students involved, especially if you're in actually any subject, music, English, history. There's a lot of great things you can use, especially there's something called GameStar Mechanic. It's a way that oh, there it is. So GameStar Mechanic allows you to create video games, really easy, really simple, in the style of old school Nintendo Mario Brothers. You can hit blocks that ask questions, and if they get the right answer, they go through the right thing, or if they get the wrong answer, they fall and die. And so it's kind of like a good way to give a quiz or studying for a quiz. They can reenact battles on the battlefield in their own thing. So I like using that a lot. But this has a list of a lot of things that I use in my class and links to where you can find it. This is my supplemental web page called Easy Tools for Easy Teaching. This has lots of different things that I use in my class. It says how I use them in my class. It has screen recordings of how to implement it in your computer, how to install it, how to use it, all those things. And one last one, great one, is Crazy Talk. It's one of my favorite applications to try out as well. So have at it, go around. I'm going to walk around to every hand that I can see going up, and just let me know what you need. Oh, I always forget. They like me to have you do an evaluation of this session. tinyurl/bootcamp 2014 eval. So if you have a chance to do that at any time during these next 40 minutes, that'd be fantastic. Oh, perfect. Yes, so we'll do an announcements page. So you're going to want to click on the page button, the one with oh yeah, go ahead, just cancel. Page, and just type in announcements. Oh, let me let them know that too. And also, I forgot, I don't know if I mentioned it, on the Paperless Classroom website that you received, there is a spot for Google Sites, and I just did a session this morning, and that session's been recorded and uploaded already. So if you would like to know a little bit more about Google Sites, here's our presentation, and then here's smaller presentations on just introducing you to Google Sites, how to implement a navigation bar both vertically and horizontally, how to add different extras like changing your pictures, changing your headers, changing the color scheme, adding a document, removing a document. All of these things are available to you to view at your own leisure at any time that you would like. It's on the Paperless Classroom website under the Google Sites option right there. The Easy Tools? Yeah, that's going to be under Resources and Easy Tools right there. Mm-hmm. Oh no, we can definitely get this is one of the most important ones. So we're going to click on the web page portion, and we're going to change it to an announcement. There we go, and then we're going to go ahead and hit Create. So now to get there, all you have to do is click there, and then to do a new post, you just click New Post. You got it. Oh, go there, and I'll come right there. Yes, with the new TSA team, we are going to really strive to put on professional development throughout the year. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be one of the best ways that I've thought about doing the professional development is doing screen recordings slowly and on very specific subjects, and then uploading the screen recordings to the resource segment of the TSA website, so that you can do it on your own. Because you know, us doing the professional development, we would probably do it from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and nobody wants to go to those. I mean, you're tired, you're busy, you want to hang out with your family, or on Saturdays, right? And it's weekend, you don't want to go back to school. So doing the screen recordings, you can do it at your own leisure, your own professional development, and then send us questions. So I think that's how we're going to do that throughout the year. Or webcasts. That is your Remind 101 number. So what you're going to do for your students, you're going to tell them, okay, get out your phones. And actually the easiest way to do it is this. Get out your phones, send the message to this number, and text that. And so once they do it, they'll receive a message back saying, thank you for subscribing to your class. What is your name? They will type in their name and hit send. They are done. They don't do anything else, and you don't do anything else. And their name will appear right down here.
And what about parents?
Same thing with parents. What I would do is I would add a new class and just call it parents. And then you can choose to send messages just to parents. I would put that picture that I just showed you on my website so parents can go to and see it. And then open house or back to school night, have them do it, come in and say, hey, we're trying something new, get out your cell phones.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I had the same question, now I lost it. Okay, so now can I copy that to put on my website? Or
Yes.
how do I? Not holding it down long enough.
So with the iPad, I don't know
Okay.
how to do it. Yeah, it'd probably have to be done on a computer. You'd right-click, copy image, and then you can upload the image to your website.
Okay, and then so I've got it set up. So then now, can you send the invitations? How do you do that, or do you just have them join?
I would just have them join. Okay. Yeah, I would just.
I'm ready to go. Other than.
Yeah, you're all set. So when the year starts, put that up on your board. Say, okay, kids, do this, and then open house night. Have one for parents. Okay, parents, do this. But I would make sure I have two different ones, one for parents, one for students.
I have little kids.
No. That's then probably just parents. All right, let me squeeze by here real quick. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm in Google Drive, and it's all linked up. I mean, if I want to go over here, it's linked up to my, my closest. How does this get converted over? Does my new school have to load? Yeah, so all you would do is you'd contact whoever your web server is, whoever's your webmaster, and then you just give them the same thing. Are you going to use the same? No, I like completely different. I don't like start over. Well, then we'll go ahead and just hit create. Okay. And then just name your new site right there. Okay. And then give them that. And then yeah, you can just add on to that. How does this is the page. I've seen some teachers they've been able to give out a different Oh, well, sure, I can show that right now for you guys. So go. Like on back to school night, I can tell my parents to go to room 24. Yeah, so go ahead and tiny URL. That's what you'll do. Yeah, it's just a web shortener. Yeah, there's a lot. Like Google does a good one, but it's goo.gl, and then and they won't let you personalize it. So I don't like those. But just name the site whatever you'd like. You can go back and change it. But you would probably want to do one that you don't want to change, something that you're really going to be good with. I wouldn't end with .com. It'll just confuse people when they're typing it in. Okay, so room 24? Yeah, I mean, Yeah, you can always go back and change it. So just hit create. Yeah, we'll see. Because normally if it's taken, it'll say something down here on the bottom. You're good. So this is all you're going to do. We're going to copy this URL. And then type in tinyurl.com. And then enter. Now you're going to paste the URL we just did right now, right there. And now you're going to name it something easy. So you can just name it Room 24. Let's see if that's available. So hit make tiny URL. We'll see if that's pretty common. Something might already be taken. Yeah, it's already taken. So you can do like RM24, or you can just have, Mr. and then your last name, or just your last name. You can make as many different ones that you want that'll direct them to the same website. Then I just give that. Okay. Which one do I give to the student? This is the one you'd give them. I give them this one, and this is the one you'd give students and parents because it'll be much easier for them to get to. All right, and then go make tiny URL. No .com. Okay. It'll just be that. So then go ahead and hit. So that was created. So now to get to your website is all you have to do. Type in tinyurl.com / and then the one you just made. That's it. Yeah, the ones that have justathing.com, they pay for that. It's $12 a year. Yeah, GoDaddy.com. Yeah, and it's $12 a year, and you got to keep up on it, or somebody can come and snatch it and take it away from you. Yeah. So this one's easy, and you can make that tiny URL be tinyurl.com / 24, tinyurl / Mr. and then your last name. You can make all these different ones so that if kids forget, at least one of them is going to hit and take you to your name. I usually recommend use about 10 of them, and then so whatever the kids throw at it, they get there. Okay, so at this now, what I give this website to my you give that the new school, and you give this one to your parents and students. Okay, and then ask my old school, my webmaster of the old school, go ahead and take this down. Yeah, actually, you can just delete it if you want. Yeah. So let's just go. It's under My Drive, and then click here, and go to Sites. Oh, wait a minute. Go back there. There we go. Go under the cogwheel for settings. Go to Manage Site, and then scroll down a little bit. Delete this site, and it'll be deleted. Yep. That's it. And then on this Room 24, if you want to see how plain it is, if you want to start fiddling with the way it looks, you can always go to Manage Site, Themes and Colors and Fonts. Well, you can go to already pre-made if you want, or you can go in and make it your own individual colors, whatever you want to do. You can get lost for days in designing how you want your site to look. Okay, great. Thank you. Mm-hmm. All you need to do is just go on Google Images and then grab a picture, and then under background, you go custom image, and then it'll just bring the image to the back. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Old website.
Mm-hmm.
It says connected to this, but it's not. Okay?
Okay.
It's not. That's the one that's...
Well, it's not connected to it. It's just shared with you.
Okay. That's my old website.
Okay. Do you want to keep it like this? Because we can make a copy of it,
okay.
and then import it to yours.
Okay, because here's the one I created.
So you can start from scratch, or we can take the one you have already and we can just make a copy of it.
Let's get rid of it.
All right, so let's make a copy. So go ahead and go to the one you were at. Go to the cogwheel.
That would be much easier.
Manage site, and scroll down a little bit. And delete this. And we're going to do the same thing with yours, but we're going to hit copy this site.
Okay.
And we're going to push it. Okay, so cogwheel, manage site. No, it's not allowing. Because you're, I have an idea. Let's try this. Okay, let's sign in with the other one that you have. Do the Clovis, is that the one that it's under?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can't edit. Right.
There we go. And so we're going to actually transfer ownership to the Clovis one to give you access. There we go. So we'll go to sites. Why is it not there?
I just always type in.
We'll have to put a... Why is it not there either? That's ridiculous.
Welcome to my world. What?
We have to switch back to your other one. There we go. Okay. And besides outside Clovis, there we go. Transfer ownership. There you go. You're now owner. And then we'll switch back to this one.
Fancy.
Now we can make a copy. Don't need permission because we are owners. Okay, let's try this then. Let's make you a CAN editor now. Now let's make sure that it's correct. Now, is owner can edit. So you should have full rights to do whatever you want with this now. Oh, because it says you're signed in as this one. Let's change that. There we go. There we go. So now you're going to make a new name, and it'll save it under Clovis USD.
Okay. So I can just put what it was, right?
Mm-hmm. Copy. There we go. So now we're there. And let's just go back and make sure that it's under your sites now. There it is.
Now my next question is, how do I do that tiny URL thing so the kids can find me?
All right.
That's going to Buchanan's site, teachers,
So
and all that.
we're going to copy this URL.
Okay.
So now we have the URL saved. We're going to open up tinyurl.com. And then no boot camp, so just erase everything up to the .com. There we go, just enter. Now you're going to paste the URL we just created right there. And then you're going to put whatever you want there, something easy. There we go, now make tiny URL. It's already used. Must be a bar.
It'll be my bar. Okay. Does that do one word?
Yes, it'll be easiest for the kids. So. Perfect.
Okay.
And what I would do is I would make, about 3 or 4 of them so that, yeah.